I did set it up. I just forgot. It works fine. Hello. Welcome
Yay.
to
Yeah.
another, and in fact, the final episode of this Girl by Moonlight playtest. Um, I'm Andrew. My pronouns are they and them, and I am joined by Morgan. Over this way. There we
Oh no, I can't see.
go.
Hi, I'm Morgan. My pronouns are they, them, and she, her interchangeably.
And then underneath me here is Jess.
Yes, that's me. Hi, I'm Jess. I use they and them pronouns and go by Burst of Hope on Twitter.
And lastly, Jory.
I'm Jory. I use she or they pronouns. Uh, and I am playing, to remind myself and everyone else, I'm playing the character Rasa Slate.
Mm. Right, can we do character intros for Jess? Do you want to go first and then Morgan?
Yeah, going backwards, totally forgot. Soul also uses they, them pronouns.
And I'm playing Laurel Lane. She, her pronouns.
Great. Yeah. Well, I guess let's hop back into it. It's been a little while, but when last we left off, y'all were in. Gosh, okay. I need to go back to the name list here and remind myself of who everyone is. But so
I
we were
remember
in.
sunflowers.
Yes.
We were in
Yeah.
Faye's dream, or at least that's where we started out, which was, if y'all remember, was kind of like a town of a bygone era in the middle of this massive field of sunflowers. There was a big meeting that Faye was hosting using her kind of dream persona, which is this very matronly and severe figure, but also there's a split, and so there's also like a little kid version of Faye hanging about. And Faye was instructing other people who all had sunflowers for heads on how to like do surreal dream architecture, how to like fabricate dream spaces. Everyone tried to pass off as members of the cult organization, whatever, and it did not quite work out, and you got taken to see the manager, despite despite Raza name dropping and trying to kind of use their clout. Did not work out, and so at present we are trapped in what is essentially Rip's office here, and Rip being, in the dream at least, a massive kind of bramble with multiple TV screen heads that are all like arguing and speak in different voices. And I think the things that happened just before now are that Rip had a bunch of beef with Spec, aka Raza Slate specifically, and like seems to blame you for like playing a loose, running off into the dream, and anything else that Rip can kind of pin on you. And
Yeah, Rip sucks.
and Rip tried to like dump all their feelings into you, and it didn't quite work, but it
I
kind of
stood up to
deflected
them.
it, and then very importantly, Laurel stood up to the big scary dream bramble, and at least gave it pause. And so we're in that kind of brief window of time that Laurel bought for y'all. And the scene is that you're in this. It started out as kind of like a more old timey office, but that quickly like stripped away as Rip started getting really angry and kind of like tore the space apart. There's still a door, but Faye, matronly Faye, is blocking the exit, or is at least standing in the way. And the three of you are kind of about to be messed with by Rip. You're not sure exactly how far Rip will take it here, but they seem very, very angry and very upset and they're big and sharp and scary.
This is fine.
Yeah, I feel like, and y'all can fill in if you don't feel the same way. Seems like if we could cut our losses and get the hell out of here, that would be what I would be inclined to do. Because things aren't going very well, and I don't really know how to turn that around.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta find some creative poofy poof escape plans here. Drop the smoke bomb.
Hmm.
Does anyone have a
feel
good way to
like
do that?
possibly Faye might be our more likely outlet. So our like way of traveling through dreams is through mirrors and screens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Since this is her dream, she would probably know. Have to be able to give her what she wants, and I'm not totally sure what that is, but maybe.
Where is Tiny Faye?
Tiny Faye is not around.
Okay, just making
Tiny
sure.
Faye got left back in the like meeting hall space.
Sure.
But yeah, presumably or ostensibly, this is all like Faye built all of this. Like you're still in Faye's dream. It's just really, really elaborate and extensive because she's very good at this and has crafted this like this big space that can hold lots and lots and lots of people.
Did she Minecraft her own dream space? Is that what happened?
Yeah, basically that was my thinking, right? Like I was thinking like Faye's a gamer. She's very proficient at imagining things and at like and has built out this like big kind of level or like Minecrafty kind of space.
Nan.
Yeah.
Can Laurel somehow get Nan to like make the IRL connection?
Yeah, like I didn't change my look. I don't think I did change my look because I don't have like a dream persona.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
yeah,
I'm still very much me.
We haven't had that moment of like Faye recognizing you, or you like trying to insist that recognition take place. So yeah, that would be certainly an option as well.
I could try to sway her and be like, "Let us out, save us." Okay, so she's still standing there in the doorway.
Yeah, just kind of like imperiously watching whatever's about to happen.
I'm going to slowly move away from Rip because I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, Rip was last seen like clawing at the floor with massive metal bramble things and like getting themselves into a fit of anger.
They did it to itself. And anyways, I'm gonna go walk over to Nan and be like, Nan, is that you?
Yeah, and so this stern, like, younger but still adult version of your grandmother, like, looks down at you through narrow eyes and, like, crosses her arms, doesn't reply. Just kind of like
Nan,
frowns.
it's me, it's Laurel. Like, I'm here. I'm literally here. Hi, how are you? Still nothing?
Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe if you want to make a roll to see if you can kind of crack through her composure, but I think it's clear to you initially at least that part of Faye is trying to like willfully ignore that this is you so that whatever is about to happen is okay.
Oh no, that's awful. Would it be express or empathize or?
I mean, yeah, it could be any of those. It kind of depends on what you're...
I'm better at empathize than I am at express. So can I use empathize?
If you want to understand like what she is feeling, then yeah. But if you're trying to convince her...
yeah, I'm going to try to convince her. So that'd be more... That's express, right?
Express is for, yeah, like convincing folks of things. Or
Cool.
like confess could be an option here if you're just like, hey, it's me, don't you recognize me? And like,
yeah, I can do confess.
there's no kind of follow-up to it. That could be an option as well.
Position?
Nana.
We are in a desperate position here.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Um,
Standard effect?
But I'll give you standard effect, I think, yeah.
Okay. No bonus dice. Hey, I got a 5.
Great. What bad thing still happens?
Oh, no. I forgot 5s are okay. Kind of. Not really.
Yeah, so I think there's this moment where Faye kind of like blinks and like looks at you again, and you can see recognition kind of click. And then it's immediately followed by like panic, because Faye realizes that you are in this dangerous position now, and so they like reach out and grab you and like pull you close and kind of like shelter you, but they don't do anything to help your friends. And so it's like, you can be safe just on your own. You're successful in that way, but Faye's mercy does not extend beyond you. It's like, oh yeah, no, you are my kin. I need to protect you, but those other people are trouble. And I think Faye says as much. It's like, well, wait, what are you doing here? And like pulls you in. It's like, I can't believe you let those two drag you in here. It's very dangerous.
They're my friends. Come on. Just let us all in, please. Just like let us out. We need to go. This is not a safe place. Or at least that's not a safe place. And I point to
Rip.
The essence of Rip.
And Faye just says, well, it can't be helped now. They have to finish what they've started, but you at least can be safe. And like, she's like reaching back to like open the door and like usher you out of here.
I'm just like trying to like fight her. I'm like, no, but like,
you're welcome to like roll to resist the part of the consequence of like y'all being separated.
Yes, please.
If you want to like spin this narrative in a different direction, I think that would be a fine way to do it.
Yeah, I think I am going to try to resist. Oh gosh, what is resist?
So in this case, I think it would be with stars, because it's about like social pressure or panic or those kinds of feelings.
Still risky?
Yeah, don't worry about the macro is weird for resist. Don't worry about the position or effect for it. It should just roll the thing, and then we'll take stress equal to 6 minus the result. Cool, so you take 5 stress, which is bad.
Cool.
But
I'm at 7. That's fun.
But yeah, you're like pleading with her, like, hey, no, these are my friends. And yeah, Faye is about to just like sweep you out and close the door and leave them to, whatever it is that Rip is going to do. But that like look in your eyes,
yeah,
kind of, like she like sighs, shoves you out the door, and then goes to get your friends. And so she won't stand in anyone's way, but I think there's still the issue of Rip, not so easily eluded. And it's this massive like looming kind of bramble patchy thing with all these TV screen heads. I think like more of them are appearing, more of the like heads are popping up, and it's like looming taller and taller and becoming this like almost like a big tower of brambles, and it's getting louder, and there are more like vines and stuff reaching out, and it's starting to like take over the room.
I have a question about transcendence.
Mm-hmm.
So to transcend, do we just say I transcend?
Yep. You just say it's happening. You can describe your transformation, and then it kind of happens within like a split second. If you're like, cool, I want to make this roll, I'm going to transcend, and then do it, that's totally fine.
Right.
Okay.
Is Rasa still eclipsed?
Rasa is like right on the edge, right?
I didn't eclipse. It was like I got to that point and Laurel helped me not eclipse.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm at full stress.
Okay.
So yeah, anytime you take stress from now on, it's like you make the roll again, and it's just a matter of time until
Yep.
until that flips.
Um, is everyone cool with it if I transcend and try to do something badass right now? Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Okay.
Do it.
Fuck yeah. So, Spec slash Rasa, and remind me, did we decide that Laurel uh and Soul don't know that I am their friend IRL because I have my mirror mask on?
Yeah,
I'm
because
just this
you've
person
been kind of
that
in
chills with them.
disguise the whole time that we've
Yeah.
been in the dream. Yeah.
Great. So I see that Laurel is safe. I also see this like growing mass of horribleness, and my transformation is kind of like, right, I have this mirror mask and kind of a nondescript outfit on, and the mirror kind of like, it's like a bright light shines off of the mirror and blinds everyone a little bit, and it goes from mirror to a shining white, and then that kind of like goes and covers the rest of my body with that same kind of shining lightness. And rather than a mirror that like distorts as like a rounded mask would do, when the like shine goes away and there's kind of this less of like it's a nondescript outfit and more of almost like a no face, like voidy body situation going on that feels like it sucks in something. And the mirror becomes more of like a reflection, not just of a physical realm, but like a reflection of true feelings or intentions from the person who's looking at it. Kind of reflects fears, hopes, whatever it is that they're bringing to the table at that moment.
Cool.
So that's my transformation, and I would like to use a transcendent ability.
Yep.
Do I just do that, or do I need to roll?
What ability are you using?
My ability is watch this. So I push myself, and I'm going to choose to perform a superhuman feat of athletics.
Right. So yeah, that would be like part of a roll. As part of a roll, you can push yourself and do the cool thing.
So what I want to do is just like dive into this fucking bramble to get to the core of it and strangle it, do something bad to it, disable it.
Great. Yeah, I think getting into the core of Rip would itself be a superhuman feat of athletics, and then what you choose to do afterwards, we can negotiate that as a separate thing. But yeah, by all means, go ahead and try to do that.
Is this a defy?
Yeah, I think like defy or flow are both good options here. Because yeah, you're just like diving head on into the dangerous thing. But also it could be about like graceful movement. I think it kind of depends on how you want to. Your choice will characterize it.
Not super graceful. I think it's powerful.
Yeah.
And now I also have forgotten how to roll.
So
in roll 20.
In your character sheet, next to the actions, there's a little.
Okay, got it.
D20 icon.
I had my character sheet popped out and it wasn't working right.
Right, because yeah, it'll bring the window up elsewhere. But yeah, it should give you a little flow chart. And so for this we're still desperate. This is very much a dicey situation. Effect you can have. So you're transcended and you're doing a superhuman feat. I think we'll say great effect.
Yeah. Bonus dice because I am pushing myself.
Yes. Yeah, you still get the bonus die.
So I get 1.
Yep.
Three.
So it goes horribly. So you're all set to like dive into the middle of this thing, and I think like I'm imagining, since you described yourself as having a very like no face, big amorphous blob kind of, do you like coil up and then spring and jump into it, or like what does, give me a little extra description of what this looks like, and then I'll be able to
Yeah.
have some.
I think that I just fucking charge in. That like there's a certain amount of like it feels like Rip's energy is something that I have to like wade in against the way that you wade into water, so that
Right, like
there's
there are
you
all
can
these,
see the resistance in my body walking towards and into this, and then when I get into it, it's like
yeah, you're like picking through a bramble patch.
mhm.
Yeah, I think.
And I
Oh, yeah.
maybe help this situation.
I would love that.
What kind of help are you planning to offer?
I could maybe see it coming as a time traveler and possibly be in two places at once.
It'd be fucking cool.
Before the brambles all showed up, the Rip had a lot of screens here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot is happening and has been happening in this scene, and I think Soul would have been very overstimulated and staring at all these screens and perhaps trying to have a flashback to a time where I saw this misfortune
Right, like
that Laurel is
you've
silently
done this
reaching
before.
against.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And desperately, just I know I am connected to Rasa, and I want Rasa to be able to connect to Rip and fix the situation. So
Right, and your whole big time travel thing is about saving Rasa from this terrible fate. So
right, as I see this thorny danger happening and Rasa diving in wholeheartedly, I'm like, shoot, not like this, buddy.
well, I do owe Jory a big horrible consequence. So let me just describe
That's
what
fair.
you'll be saving Rasa from, and
Okay.
then you can do the thing.
Beautiful.
So
100%.
so yeah, you like start charging through, and you have momentum at first, I think, but then that idea of like, it's like when you run down the beach and into the ocean, and you're like running, and everything's fine, and then you hit the water and you start to slow down because you're slogging through it, and then you're like up to your chest in water and you just slow down, but it's big, sharp metal brambles that you're doing this into, and like bits of you just start getting like caught and tearing, and like, so you leave like a trail of yourself as you're like trying to pile in. And it's not like gory or visceral, but just like bits of clothing or other kind of like symbolic tearing away or dissolving of yourself as you charge in. And I think just like you get almost like eroded down, and so you're like tired and like thin feeling, and like there's just less of you. You like you diminish as you go in. And so you're just kind of like almost like a stick figure, with your mask being the only thing that's really still cohesive.
Yeah.
And you're like stuck. You're isolated from everyone else, and like in quicksand almost. So yeah, it's gonna be we'll just say like level 3 harm. Just keep throwing harm at you, but you know what? You keep failing rolls, it's gonna happen. So yeah, we'll call it level 3 harm, torn to shreds. And in addition, there is the consequence of you being isolated from everyone else. And so you're also going to need to roll for Eclipse, but real quick we can have, if Jess wants to like resist a consequence on your behalf or something, we can also do that in here. I don't know what Soul needs to do to save.
I'm just gutted. Okay, so with the time traveler ability, what is it a roll?
Which ability is that? Sorry.
Saw it coming. You expend your special armor to resist any consequences relating to surprise or misfortune, or to be in two places or once, or perform some similar feat of time manipulation.
Cool. Yeah, so if there's a consequence you want to stop using your special armor by being in two places at once, whatever, you just say, cool, I'm using my special armor to resist this thing, and you just mark it off, and we resist the consequence, and that's that. It doesn't cost you any stress. There's no roll.
Okay, that's great. I become less sparkly. Maybe I lose all my color in the world. Maybe that's my special armor.
Right, you like go monochrome after you've used it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. I see this future. I see Rasa becoming less, and I'm like, no.
And so do you like appear there with Rasa and that somehow mitigates the thing, or is it that you like stop Rasa from going in?
I think
Appear with me.
yeah, I absolutely want to appear with Rasa. I'm not trying to stop Rasa from this a very important thing, even though it's dangerous.
Right, so rather than Rasa like wading through alone and getting torn to bits, you're in there like helping clear the brambles and
Hell yeah.
yeah. Great. So, Jory...
Give me that harm.
I guess, yeah, you can... So, yeah, the way this works mechanically, right, is that, like, to resist a consequence, you kind of take it on yourself and then roll to resist it. So I think similarly with your special armor, like, you would have taken the harm, but we just axe it entirely. So you don't need to write anything down. Jory, there's no harm that you take. And Jess, you don't take any either. Soul's presence keeps the brambles and stuff in check. But the two of you are now separated, trapped. Like, you have carved a path through, but everything is kind of closed behind you. And so you're kind of in between as well, because it wasn't a success. We didn't get to the core of Rip. You're just kind of stranded in the middle of this sea of brambles, which has taken over the whole space. And we can see at one end, you know, kind of on the like horizon of this bramble patch, there's the silhouette of the door, or like the light of the door with Faye standing in it and Laurel behind her. But y'all are all split up. Faye's trying to help. I think she's like tearing at the brambles, but she can't outpace their growth.
I think I'm gonna also try to get in there and try to pull the brambles away and try to...
Yeah, so the two of you are kind of working at it.
Yeah, because I don't know what else I can do right now other than that, so...
It's that or abandon your friends.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
You're the
Then you
unlikely
just say-
hero.
I'm just saying it's
I'm
an
not doing
option. You know, I don't want you to feel like you have no choice. What are y'all gonna... Oh, actually, sorry. One last thing we are owed, which is that Rasa...
Oh, yeah, I have to roll.
You have to push yourself, so you have to roll for Eclipse again. And this feels very relevant in this moment of, like, what will Rasa do when trapped in this bad situation, when they're eclipsed or not? It makes a big difference. So you roll your your lowest resistance.
Lowest resistance.
Or your
Meaning?
lowest attribute, meaning whichever of Sun, Moon, and Stars is lowest, that's what you're going to roll.
They're all the same.
And then on a 6, everything's cool. On a 4 or a 5, someone else can push themselves or spend a link to keep you from going into Eclipse. Otherwise, you go into Eclipse, and on a 1 to 3, you just are in Eclipse.
Hey!
Thanks!
Wow, you're...
Nice.
So you're just being, like, super heroic and, like, gritting your teeth and just
Yeah.
hanging on in this perilous situation. You've got the glow, as we described.
Yeah,
So-
I think I'm like fueled by the incorrect feeling that Rip is wrong about me, and that that my relationship with Plana is good, and Rip is all weird and gross about this, but it's really it's the intensity of feeling of like, your image of who I am is wrong,
Yeah, it's that particular indignation.
and I need to prove it.
Totally. Being heroic for all the wrong reasons. It's Raza. Yeah, so you're like trapped in the middle of this bramble field. There's this massive tower. I think Rip was like briefly just kind of consumed with these emotions that it's feeling and everything, but now it's actually like looking for you, and so like the screens are projecting these like searchlight beams down into the bramble patch, and they're like they're kind of honing in on where you are. And the impression you get is that the big old tower is just gonna like crash down into you like a wave and blot you out. What do y'all want to do?
Can we see Laurel ripping through and trying to catch up to us?
Yeah, I think there's that like beam of light from the door kind of. It seems like it's much farther away now, right? Like the distance has been increasing in this surreal way, but they're there, they're visible.
Do I want to do it?
Yes.
I think I do. I think I'm gonna try to dive in and try to swim to y'all to like start trying to pull y'all out.
Like, we gotta go!
Yeah. The thing is, y'all are in like two separate directions, right? Like y'all are.
The two
No,
of
we're
them are
together.
together.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
together.
Okay, so I'm swimming to y'all to like try to help pull y'all out.
Morgan, do you think this is Laurel's moment? Is this
It might be.
is this that only Laurel can save their friends?
Yeah, because like she's like, I don't want to lose them, and it was my fault. It's my Nan's dreams. Like, I gotta help and save them. So I bet Nan's like trying to stop her from trying to go in, and she's like, no, Nan, I gotta help my friends, and she just does like the Baywatch sort of style, which just sort of just dives in.
Yeah, you like tear out of Faye's arms and just dive into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Great. It sounds horrible, but also very heroic and selfless. Just I wouldn't want to dive into a patch of brambles, even if it was a weird dream bramble.
They're not real. They are real, but like, yeah.
Can you remind me of the text of your move, your only mortal ability that you have?
The only mortal ability I have, is that what you asked?
Yeah.
I have heartfelt.
No, sorry. Like it's called only mortal. It's at the top of the
Yes.
list.
Yes.
Can you just read that for me?
Yeah, you cannot transcend or use special armor. You get a +1 downtime activity. You get +1d when rolling social links. When only you can save one of your friends from fatal harm or severe consequence, and you do it, you may lose this move and gain Hero's Destiny. Oh.
So I think here we're kind of triggering that last clause. Like a horrible thing is about to happen.
Oh, no, lose my spot. My keyboard moved, sorry. Go ahead.
You dive into the brambles to try to save them. I think I am happy to just have that be the moment where that move flips.
Uh-huh.
And so you can totally just have Hero's Destiny now if you want for like the thing you're about to do.
Yeah, I think as she dives in, she's Laurel, but as she's in the brambles, light's starting to like appear and through the brambles themselves. And I think when she pops up, is it transcendent? I don't know. You gain +1 when rolling Eclipse. You may only transcend when the ally suffers consequences from an action. Immediately mark 1 transcendent ability on your playbook when you gain this ability.
Yeah, go for it. I mean, you don't have to pick the move straight away, but I'm happy to have this be the big reveal of like Laurel transcends. If you want to describe that, if you're excited to do it, I think it's a good
remember
time.
what did I even pick it back in the day? I don't remember. I didn't even pick an ability. I didn't think this day would come. We're not prepared. What are y'all doing while I figure this out?
Yeah, we can give Morgan a chance and we can cut away and
I
come
think
back.
if we're seeing Laurel's rip through these vines in this shining light, like watching her blossom is like as magical as it gets. I am torn between just watching the desperation that Rasa is in and then looking back and seeing this ray of sunshine hope. And I'm like, is that The Laurel that we know?
I wonder too if this is
What is
like
happening?
in no other timeline has Laurel done this
No,
kind of
I've
thing, right?
never seen, like, it's just so happy for me. I'm like, this, to me, this is like the epitome of Laurel's happiness becoming like real power. And I'm like, very few times am I shocked in my life, my multiple lives, and I'm just like jaw drop stricken. Like, what? Whomst? How?
Whose is this?
Right. So in the middle of this like super intense, dangerous situation, you're just like, what? Just yeah. There's like a brief calm.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'm having a similar experience, except that it's more in the like, I've always seen Laurel as like my nice little buddy that I tell my feelings to, and this is like a revelation of like, oh, this person is more than I thought they were, and maybe my concept of who they are needs to change.
Spec is kind of a jerk. I am realizing as we play how much. Yeah, I don't know.
My stuff froze at the moment that you said Spec is kind of a.
Oh, so you didn't even get to hear it. Great, perfect. I didn't say anything bad. I don't know. Spec is just really like arrogant. Doesn't think much of other people. Yeah, it's great.
I mean, he's a social media influencer.
So yeah, like, are y'all gonna try to like meet Laurel halfway, or are y'all just gonna like dive in and hope that Laurel can pull you out? Do you have a particular thing you're trying to get done, or do you just want to like cut and run at this point?
I think I'm still pretty focused on getting to the center of this and disabling Rip. That's why I came in here, and now I'm all the way in here. I don't want to go back.
Cool.
I think it's pretty clear, like, looking into your heart of hearts. I can tell that he wants to get to Rip, and I'm like, okay, I mean, what else? We gotta go.
So the two of you are gonna press on.
Rip into Rip? Yes.
Yeah.
Whenever Jory said that, like, that Laurel is very unexpected and like did not like think about this, I had "Am I more than you bargained for?" ya run through my head. But I think I'm ready, because I also had to find a transcendent ability, because I don't pick from, I don't have a list. I pick from
You pick from
list.
any other list.
So I had to look and see.
Did you find one you liked, or
I did.
what are you gonna go with?
So first off, I'll finally emerge from the brambles, and it's like a mermaid sort of style, where like I push through, and like it's just like, I'm gonna say it's like, you said sunshine, so I'm gonna go with that. Like sunlight beams and that warmth that y'all can feel like around you, the yellow and golden hues popping through. And as I emerge, my hair flips up, a la Little Mermaid style, and it's just nothing but like, nothing but pure golden yellow radiance, hair, skin, eyes, all of it. And she's gonna keep trying to swim to her friends, but
like Midas's touch gold?
More like sunshine, like just sunshine bottled.
Always perfectly hits you, and you are sunshine embodied. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Weepy.
And so she's swimming right up to y'all, and whenever she sees Spec going as well, she's like, are we keep going? Is that what's happening? Are we gonna fight this? Or are we leaving?
fight this.
Let's go. And so she's gonna keep swimming towards Rasa as well. And I don't. Can I use my move now?
Sure. What is
Sorry,
it?
I gotta find it again. I just lost it. I was reading them.
It's so damn magical.
Yeah.
We can't find it.
It's from the Guardian playbook,
Mm,
and it's called "How Dare You."
that's a good one.
And so it says when you strike back against someone who has harmed one of your friends, gain +1 effect. If you actually succeed, you recover 1 stress. And I think I don't see Laurel using weapons at all. I think it's more just her emanating her energy.
Just got like the big sunbeams.
Yeah, big old sunbeams. So she just like puts her hands out in front of hers and just.
Cool. So you're gonna
Blind
like
you with positivity.
carve a path essentially for everyone to
Mm-hmm.
run through. Great. Yeah. I mean, Rip did hurt Spec earlier, so your ability definitely kicks in.
What do I? Which one do I roll for?
So yeah. So you're the action you're doing is to like shoot a huge freaking laser and carve a path through these brambles.
Yes.
So something that's appropriate to that, and then you'll get an extra. You'll have extra effect, and if your action succeeds, you'll recover 1 stress.
Cool. Trying to remember what they all mean. Confess, forgive, perceive, no. Defy?
Yeah, Defy is the most kind of direct confrontational one, and certainly makes a lot of sense here of just
Okay.
like smashing stuff.
Position?
We'll say risky.
Okay.
And
You said greater effect?
you can have
Great effect.
great effect here.
Okay. Ooh. Nope.
So yeah, you like
I'm new with
wind
this.
up to like blast this thing, and I think
I don't know how to control this energy yet.
it works at first, and yeah, you like stop because you're thinking like, oh yeah, cool, I've done it. And then the like glow that you're emanating, everything kind of darkens around you, and this massive, like the big tower that had formed, just like folds over on y'all like a huge wave kind of sweeping in. Everything goes dark for a bit, and then I think the light that returns is Laurel like flickering back on to like glow again as you like kind of come out of a daze, and we find ourselves inside of a big dome of these brambles with all the screens of Rip like on the dome, all like facing you panopticon style, and the 3 of you just in the middle, and you like hear Rip's voices kind of all in unison just saying like, you're not getting out of here. Not until I make them suffer for what they've done. I don't care about the other 2 of you. Just give me that one. And like a spotlight appears on Raza in the middle of this like big, dark space that you're in. That's the one I want.
At this point, why would I be here, Mr. Omnipotent, if I wasn't going to protect that one?
And the voices
All or nothing, baby.
Yeah, the voices all in unison are just like, fine, you can suffer too. And just like the floor underneath you, just like vines just like emerge up from it and just start like coiling around everyone's feet or anything that's like touching the ground and just trying to like squeeze you out boa constrictor style.
Cool.
What do y'all want to do?
I feel like I'm interested in making a dark bargain in terms of wanting to guarantee that my friends get out of here alive.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Are you gonna do the big dumb heroic sacrifice of like, take me, leave my friends? Is it gonna be that, or
y- yeah, I think so. Trying to think in terms of a Dargan. Um,
Target.
in terms of like the thing that I would like to roll for,
mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out if I should be trying to convince Rip to let them go, or if there's a better action for me to take. Or how about this? I want to convince Rip to let these two go, and that I will that Rip and I can work together to achieve whatever it is that he wants, which I know to some degree is just to destroy me, or whatever it wants rather.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's what I'm gonna go for. So
Right, you're gonna try to like reconcile in as much as it is possible with Rip.
yeah, contingent on these
Yeah.
two being able to like fully get out of here, back out of the dream world. They are of no concern to Rip, is what I want to convince. So this seems like an
So yeah,
express
you're just
roll.
saying this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's play that out, that exchange, I guess, real quick here. Sorry to put you on the
Okay.
spot, but
So we'll do that and then make the
and then
dark
we can
bargain,
make the
or I have to
roll
make
and the
the
dark
bargain?
bargain and everything. Yeah.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure I have the, you know, the right context and
Yeah.
everything.
Give
for
me
it.
the juicy role play. My heart.
So yeah, these like vines are coming up out of the ground to like constrict everyone. They're, you know, they're sharp. They're made of like razor wire, basically. It's like really squicky. And Rip has you spotlighted, and I think just says like, because they were like, yeah, I want to make sure that this one suffers. I think just to add to it, they're like, I want to feel you falling apart. And like a bunch of the screens are like in close, like looking at you really closely, like Rip is just indulging in seeing this, like the spectacle of it.
Mm-hmm. I think Russ is like, you don't need these people. Who are these people to you? You can, if you want me, get rid of all the other distractions. These two don't need to be here. And you and I can focus in on what it is, the business that we need to get down to. Obviously, we have some unfinished business, and I'm here. I'm ready.
Yeah, and so like everything kind of pauses as you are giving this offer. Um, and like a couple of it's not all of the voices, they're no longer unanimous, but a couple of them are like, yeah, we could work something out. And then others are like, no, what are you talking about? And then like a brief argument kind of happens in an exchange. But yeah, why don't you go ahead and make the roll, and we'll kind of see if you push Rip to one decision or the other.
Position still desperate.
Yeah, I think we're back in desperate territory, and I think the dark bargain here is, yeah, the exchange of like your friends can go is the thing that you are, that's what's at stake in the roll. The side bet of what the dark bargain is about, I think, is that to get an extra die on this roll, you can, what would really turn the screws for Rasa with regards to, I think what Rip really wants to see is like a break in Rasa's placid facade, where you're just like, oh yeah, everything's fine, this is business, like, you know, you think that your relationship with Plain Loose is good. Rip wants you to like admit to some transgression or show some feelings or something, right? Like what they really want to see is you be miserable because you're always so perfect and so implacable.
I think so. There's two ways this could go. Either I could learn the truth of the fact that it's my fault that Plana transcended, or I could be led to believe that that Plana had betrayed me in some way, or like had turned against me.
Tell you what, the dark bargain is as follows: you can get an extra die. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm not going to tell you how Rasa needs to feel or act, but Plana Luce will show up and just like tear your fucking heart out, and just be like, no, we are not together, nothing is good, everything is bad, etc., etc. Like Plana will show up and they will have things to say. That's the
I'm
dark
into
bargain.
it.
Yeah,
that sounds great. I mean, it sounds awful, but it's perfect.
So yeah, maybe we'll see that Rasa doesn't isn't as cool as they think they are, doesn't know everything.
Right. So my effect.
Standard effect still, unless you've got something that changes that, I think. And yeah, desperate position.
And bonus die is 1.
Yep.
5.
So, this little like internal argument is happening for Rip, and as that is going on, Laurel and Soul, both of you are like they let go of you essentially, and you just kind of thud back onto the ground. Rasa is still bound up in these weird, creepy vines. And I think the two of you just kind of get like swept away as the whole space kind of reconfigures itself. So the two of you are kind of like off to the side. A gap opens up in the wall of this thing, and we see Faye and Luce both kind of backlit there. The bad thing that happens to Rasa, though, beyond... I mean, maybe we'll just have this happen through Plana. And I think we just hear them say to Rip, like, why do you think I care about Plana? Or, sorry, getting my names mixed up. Plana says, why do you think I still care about Rasa? They're just someone who comes and visits me here sometimes. That's it. And the screen's all like turn to look at Luce as they like walk in. For a reminder to the audience, Plana Luce is a unicorn. And this is still true. And so they kind of like clop their way in. Rasa, what are you doing here? Why do you keep following me?
I'm not following you. I came here. I didn't come here for you. I came here, to fight against all of this nonsense, all this dream world. I came here to fight for what's real, like love.
And they just like look at you deadpan somehow, despite being a horse, and just say, this world is realer than love. This world doesn't betray me or leave me wanting more. This world is all I need. I don't need you. And there's nothing to fix. And they like turn and walk back out. And I think over their shoulder to Rip, they just say, do what you want with them, I guess, but I don't care. and they just like march out of there. And Rip
Like,
seems
like
kind of
the-
deflated by this too. They're like, it takes the fun out of it for Rip, and they kind of like drop you.
I feel like as Plana like is leaving, it's clear that they're going. I like am stricken for a moment of like not knowing what to say, and then I get really angry and just yell for Plana to come back and talk to me. And Plana does not do this.
Yeah, you're just like in this big echoey space shouting, and no one's paying attention to you. Like the screens have all followed Plana out, and you're just left in this big empty kind of cavern of brambles with, yeah, no one listening.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think eventually. So is Rip leaving?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're still
Yeah.
like, they leave behind all this stuff, but they're
Mhm.
like, the bit that is actually Rip has moved on. All the screens are gone.
Yeah. And are Sol and Laurel still here?
They're still in the space.
Kind
They were
of?
kind of like shuffled to the side to give you that little moment. And like Faye is at this kind of like doorway that now is in the dome of brambles. And is just kind of like gathering everyone up and trying to like get y'all out of here. With a lot of like gentle words for Sol and Laurel. I'm just like, hey, come now, let's get you home and out of here. But Faye also doesn't really acknowledge Ross's presence.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I like yell for a while, including after like Plana's totally gone. And then kind of like collapse into a pile and like cry, but silently. Like I'm still very obviously, the main feeling I'm feeling is anger, which is a mask for the real feelings that I'm
Yeah.
feeling, but that's what's very present.
And you're still transcended, hey?
I think maybe in this collapse, there's like a dulling of everything about me that goes back to my
Yeah, you like go back to your
non-transcended form.
mundane self. Cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
That seems appropriate.
Yeah, but I'm probably not gonna stand up and leave with these folks unless they drag me.
I think Laurel's gonna once seeing all this, she's gonna go over and just like sort of gently hug to your friend.
Yeah, I think I am
Just softly like lay my head on theirs.
very still. I don't like melt into that or accept that or really even acknowledge that it's happening. I don't reject it either.
Just holding.
Great. Well, I think that's the end of our first mission.
Ooh!
What a glorious success this was.
Oh.
Mm.
This is fine.
So, we definitely learned that Rip is in charge of indoctrination. I think we're going to put Faye in as a follower.
Oh, Nan.
Dang it, Nan.
Dang it, Nan.
And then I ended up naming another person. There was someone named Hen who was talking to y'all and trying to get you to fill out the forms and stuff, the like sunflower people.
Uh-huh.
And we'll plug them in here. A previously unknown individual. So we know who all the players are in this particular wing of the conspiracy, but I think importantly, no one was really confronted and like called out successfully, and that'll have to happen another time. And so there's a couple of kind of bookkeeping things to do. So after every mission, darkness continues to close in on the crew regardless of the mission's outcome. So the darkness track is going to advance by one segment. I'll pull y'all over to the right page. Sorry, I haven't GM'd in a while. So on the series sheet,
Excuse me.
we're going to clock 1 here plus 1 for each of the following criteria. So if the darkness's agenda moves forward, and in this case, its agenda is... I'm going to go back to our session 0 stuff here. It wants to shatter the barrier between waking and dreaming. And I think what we were seeing there with like these people being taught how to like manipulate their dreams and create different worlds, Plana Luce's rejection of Rasa's like desire to like fight against or fight on behalf of reality, all this kind of stuff. I think that's going to count as, you know, the advancing of the darkness's agenda. No one was eclipsed or fell to darkness. Did the crew come closer? Did y'all come closer to your destiny?
I mean, I did transcend, so like.
Yeah, I think that
Beach, I don't even know what my destiny is anymore.
Yeah, what is our destiny? What does that
I
mean?
think I wrote it down at the beginning.
So that refers to our answer to the question of the dream's end here, right? Of like, what is the conspiracy trying to do, and what are we trying to do to stop it? And from what I remembered of our initial conversation, it was this idea of like, if people weren't so busy trying to build a better world in the dream, they could do that in reality, right? They could choose to focus their efforts elsewhere.
I wrote down defy dream and then free of the darkness. And then I put eat our bodies dream, discover themselves.
Huh?
So yeah, like I feel like this one, in terms of like an ideological sense, was a win for the conspiracy. Everyone in there was just like, yep, we're doing the right thing. Clearly, all your ideas are bullshit. Look how cool we are in our dream world.
Yeah.
So I don't think we have marched closer to destiny in that way, but I think, yeah, the fact that Laurel transcended is enough to merit another pip here. So we'll call it 3.
Oh.
The darkness track matters for Fallout, which I'm about to roll for, and then also when it fills up, that means that it's kind of exists in parallel to the idea of the investigation. This is the darkness coming to find y'all and in some way make a move against the 3 of you. So if it fills up, we do a big bad scary thing instead of a mission.
Okay.
So you want to try to unravel the conspiracy before it gets to you.
Unravels you.
Exactly. So anyone who wasn't in Eclipse can erase all stress from their sheet, and then clear any unspent links and reset their transcendent tracks and armor uses. The investigation track is going to drop by half of its current value, rounding up. As you know, new information is needed to stay on top of the conspiracy and what it's up to, but that leaves y'all with 5 still, which is pretty good.
Stress.
And then let's see, where is... I have a special sheet that is maybe not actually scanned and in here that I'm supposed to roll Fallout on. So let me go find
These
that real
hiccup
quick.
things are so Laurel branded. They're adorbs.
I just can't help it. My body's like, and we're gonna hiccup now. I'm like, I don't want to. It's like, no, we're gonna do it. I'm like, no,
It's happening.
it's happening.
Reminder, how do we get new links? Is that new links with peoples?
Yeah, so
that
links are generated when you do the social link action in downtime.
Yes, got it.
Because I think I spent my link with Raza, so I don't have that one anymore. But I still have one with Spec.
Where did I put the rules for Fallout? My God, who wrote this? Who made this game? Why
Who
did they do
designed
such
this
a bad
game?
job?
That's why we are playtesting.
Right, here we go. It was there, I just didn't read it because I'm bad at reading. So I roll dice equal to this tier, and then there's a chart that I evaluated on based on the other tier. So we're going to roll one die real quick here. A 4, and on my chart that says a suspect reveals their complicity. So the idea with Fallout is like this is stuff that happens in the aftermath of the thing that you just did, and so over the next few days or whatever we can kind of fit in some of these details. I think in the wake of this kind of confrontation in Faye's dream space, you know, we see like maybe a montage of y'all kind of keeping tabs on things, right? Like the places that you used to go to, that you were going to investigate prior. We see you return there, and people are talking about these things that happened, about having this dream about like a big scary bramble thing, or like various images from the events of that night kind of pop up in like Faye's dream journaling forum and stuff like that. And I think the way that we see this particular detail is maybe that Soul, your desk, kind of on the next week, one of the folios that you're given, in addition to a review of Faye, like another check on Faye, they're like, oh yeah, this one, we want you to make sure that you like check this one again. But also that, where are they? That also June's name, your earnest student intern person at work, her file is also put on your desk.
Shit. Okay. Noted.
And I'm just gonna add her. In here. And I think the detail in there is that she has been making weird purchases. Like her credit card history shows a bunch of weird purchases that are flagged as being like, you know, deviant behavior or whatever. And I think she has been buying up, gosh, what would they get? What would be like a weird thing that the conspiracy would collect? Like a material thing that it would want to provide people with?
Sunflower seeds?
Yeah, actually, that's great. She's been
Like
going
gardening?
around planting sunflowers and has been like buying lots of the stuff needed to do that. And like they don't grow very well in the like hazy, you know, smoggy, mundane world, and so there are all of these like we start seeing these like very sad kind of browning sunflowers sprouting up, and yeah, they're very like droopy and dysfunctional, but they're being planted as like a symbol, and Jun is doing this, and it has been doing it for a while, but it's caught up with her now. That's great.
Alrighty.
Oof.
So then, yeah, that's after Fallout, like that's a complete cycle of play. We've done all the different steps, right, of obligation, downtime, the mission, and then Fallout. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything else. Yeah, great. That's it. And so we just swing back around to obligation, and maybe we can play a couple scenes of downtime and have the characters like reflect on the stuff that just happened. but sadly this is our last episode, so plan accordingly, I guess, and we'll go from there. But let's take a quick break,
Okay.
and then we can get back into it in about 10 minutes. So
All right.
hang tight, everyone. We'll be back.